Welcome to Artful Afternoons online. Today we are heading into the Library of Hyde House to find a special painting. This was created by Edward Kohler, a Dutch still life painter. Let's get a closer look. What are some of the objects you see? This artwork is called a still life. A still life, or as it is sometimes known, a Vanitas, is a collection of objects. Some artists will include objects that have symbolism or meaning that the artist wanted to convey to the viewer. The musical instruments are branches of the arts. The skull and candle is a symbol of life and death. The globe and books represent a thoughtful or pensive outlook. We are going to make our own spooky still life. You will need at least 3 objects. They can be a fall or Halloween object. You'll also need charcoal and paper. You need to be thoughtful when setting up your still life. I set up my still life with a plant, coffee mug, and a jack-o'-lantern. I set them up so they had some overlapping shapes and sizes. I have a small, medium, and large object that I arranged in an interesting composition. It took a couple of tries. Using the charcoal, I started drawing the space of the table with simple lines. Then I laid out my objects as simple shapes: a rectangle, a square, and a circle. I then looked at the areas for dark shadows, and I filled them in with the charcoal. I used my fingers to soften the shadows. I also softened shapes with my finger to fill in some of the value of the objects. I added the details of the plant. I used dynamic lines to create movement and direction to my plant. Again, I used my finger to soften the lines and added some shading and texture. I used an eraser to bring out the highlights or the lightest parts of my picture. I went back in with my charcoal whenever I needed to darken any shadows. I also added some details to make the objects come to life. Here is my finished spooky still life.